Good afternoon. The cream of the darting crop have arrived in the southwest of England. They're scratching their heads, they're asking themselves the same question. Just how on earth do you stop Michael van Gerwen?
It looks like he means business. LVG, mighty Michael van Gerwen inspired, making his move. A fantastic comeback. Michael van Gerwen wins an absolute thriller. Oh, what a finish. Perfect!
Green machine.
Magical display from Michael van Gerwen. Michael van Gerwen, European champion.
Oh, what a great finish. And he's taken it. He's shown why he's the world #1.
Well, this is how we line up this afternoon. A very interesting clash of styles for starters. Justin Pipe against Vincent van der Voort. More on that in just a moment. And then the likes of Terry Jenkins, Mervyn King, Simon Whitlock and Kim Huybrechts all in action a bit later. And those matches are the best of 11 or the tasty. Well, you've heard the one about the hare and the tortoise, no doubt. Well, the first game this afternoon should be absolutely fascinating. Vincent van der Voort is widely regarded as one of the quickest players on the circuit, if possibly not the quickest. And he takes on a man who has a much more leisurely approach at the hockey in Justin Pipe. Both men have been talking to Ned Bolting.
Two players at the opposite ends of the darting spectrum in terms of the speed on the hockey. Justin, of course, with your famously, what should we say, deliberate throw. Come to that in a minute. Yeah. Vincent, one of the fastest players on the circuit, for sure.
Yeah, one of the fastest. That's probably the right thing to say. I'm not the fastest. I don't think so. But I'm fast, yeah. Enough can say about that.
You don't hang around. What's it like playing Justin? Because, you know, a lot of people struggle with Justin's action, yourself included?
No, it's not. Of course, it's difficult to play somebody who's slow, but Justin is not. He's throwing slow, but then he walks fast to the board, and then he's fast away as well. Yeah. So he's just that's his style. Yeah. With somebody like Brendan Dolan, it's more difficult because he's very slow with his first darts, and after he's finished, he stays there, and he walks very slow to the board, and then he gets his darts very slow. So yeah. That's even more difficult. I think Justin is that's his pace, but I don't think it's that slow.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, you sometimes feel a little bit maligned, don't you, by people like me banging on about it the whole time?
No, well, I don't find you too bad, actually, Ned.
That's a relief.
You know, Vincent and I, we've had some cracking games over the last 5 years. And the last time we played in Dusseldorf, Vincent came out on top quite convincingly. Yeah. So, yeah, and as Vin said, I mean, you know, I throw slow, but I get my darts out quick. And when it's my time on the hockey, it's my time on the hockey. I'm not worried about anybody else. But when I finish throwing that last dart, then it's time to get them out and let the other guy play. Yeah. And that's my philosophy. I don't do anything to put anybody off, just throw and concentrate with every dart I throw, really. And
just very briefly, this venue, happy memories.
Oh yeah, it's great for me. I mean, obviously 2 semi-finals for me here in 13 and 14, and Vincent last year with a semi-final. So for both of us, I think we both quite like the venue. So hopefully one of us can go on and reach a semi or a final this year as well.
Yeah, really interesting contrast of styles in Minehead, and we'll see who comes out on top as the opening session of the Players' Championship Finals gets underway right after the break. Takes on a man from slightly further afield, the Netherlands to be precise, Vincent van der Voort. Over to our MC, John McDonald.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live on ITV, coming to you from Butlins, Minehead. All brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. Welcome to the Cash Converters Players' Championship Finals. It's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen from the Netherlands, would you please welcome one of the fastest players in the world, known as the Dutch Destroyer, Vincent van der Now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the Force, Justin Pye!
So the players are all set, and so too are our commentators, Alan Warren-a-Little and Stuart Pike.
Yes, thank you, Jackie. The 8th time we have seen the Players' Championship finals. The previous 3 winners of this tournament have gone on to win the World Championship. Taylor, Van Gerwen and Gary Anderson. Here is Justin Pike. 22 miles drive to get to work this morning from Taunton to Minehead. And determined to have a good tournament. Had a disappointing year. Vincent van der Voort, who one day can be brilliant, the next very ordinary, and he knows that, and it's consistency that has been the problem to Vincent's game. But Justin Pike was saying a little while ago, when you're 16th seed and 17th seed, you're very evenly matched on the year, and that basically tells the story. This should be close, Alan.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot between them, as you said, Stuart. Last year, Justin Pike, big game for him this year, because he got beat first round last year, but 2 semi-finals in the previous 2 years in his local comp, as you say. But he's dropping down the rankings a little bit. It's in his mind. People mention it all the time, including ourselves. He knows he's dropping down, but this is a big opportunity for him to get some confidence back, get some prize money on the board, move back up, and then get ready for the Worlds and then the start of the new season next year.
Yeah, down to number 19 in the world. Vincent is up to number 16. So Pike to get us underway. First to 6, best of 11 as always in the first round. And, you could say it's a race or a sprint, but maybe not in Justin's case. A case of a slow waltz against a quick step. Slow, slow, quick, slow. A real contrast in styles.
Yeah, great shout there from the crowd with Justin started with 26. I'm sure he won't get too many more of those, but a smile on his face. Bad start, that's better already. But the crowd, 4,500 or so, they'll all be coming in this afternoon, travelling here on Friday, all the way down to Minehead. A long way, Stuart, as we know. A long way.
Yeah, absolutely, but they're here for the weekend. All 6 sessions. Vincent van der Voort will be hoping he's here for the weekend. His second visit produces the first 180. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? The last 3 winners here in Minehead have gone on to be crowned champion of the world. Phil Taylor, Michael Van Gerwen, and of course Gary Anderson 12 months ago. I wonder if history will repeat itself in 2015/2016. All starts at the Alexandra Palace, December the 17th.
Yeah, 3 obviously quality players you mentioned there, Stuart, going on to win the Worlds. Maybe it's because it's so close. Coming on the back of this one straight to the Worlds. So it could be a big end of the year for quite a few players looking to keep their ranking position.
100. They should require 140.
So advantage Van der Voort, you would think. That's disappointing dart, that, cause he wants the ton to leave tops.
100.
That's a great last dart, found a way through.
Excellent last start there from Van der Voort. Looked like he'd blocked the bed. So Pipe already in the first leg, having to take out a big shot to hold throw. Not the start he required. And 13 darter on the cards for Van der Voort.
Should require 40.
Good dart. takes the opening leg against the throw. That could be important, very important in a race to 6 to go through. The winner of this, by the way, will play Michael van Gerwen or Keegan Brown, who are in action tonight here in Minehead. Of course, Vincent van der Voort and Michael van Gerwen are very best mates, aren't they? So the potential for an all-Dutch second-round clash, but I'm sure Justin Pipe and Keegan Brown would have a thing or two to say about that. Yeah, you mentioned Pipe last year, lost 6-1 to Wes Newton, suffering from flu 12 months ago, and earlier this week was involved in a road accident, traffic accident. Someone went into the back of his car and was suffering a little bit of whiplash. He said mainly in his left shoulder, so it shouldn't really affect his throwing.
No, it doesn't look so at the moment. Not a good first leg though from him, so he needs to make amends. The race to 6, you don't want to get behind too early, otherwise you leave yourself a really big uphill task. So despite the 180 from Van der Voort and 15 dart leg, it's not really got going yet, although we're only in leg 2.
Well, it is difficult, isn't it? Doesn't matter who you are to play the very first match of any tournament. But on Friday afternoon, and you know, you're here extra early at trying to prepare.
97.
Yeah, you're in the back room, all the players are there, all the staff are arriving, the crowd's arriving. First on, you don't want to be the first person out of the tournament. If you get through, obviously, you're at the other end of the spectrum. But it's been a dodgy scoring leg, this one. That's better. Could do with another one here. Let's try and break, throw straight back and get back to one apiece.
We talked
disappointed
about
with the last one, wasn't he?
Wes Newton, who did well here last year, but one of many names in the world of darts who has failed to make it here. The likes of Kevin Painter, Andy Hamilton, Paul Nicholson, Dean Winstanley, Ronnie Baxter, Andy Smith, the list goes on and on. It just shows how competitive it is that, you know, household names, certainly over the last many years, have failed to make it to Minehead.
Yeah, it gives you a really good indication of the player's form because it's over the whole season on the Pro Tour. 2 16s for 2-0. One just inside. Ooh, couldn't quite nick it over. So a big opportunity for Pipe to break straight back. I feel it's one he needs to take.
Same target. Van der Voort really unlucky. 2 on the wire. This is important for Justin. Well, what a chance for Vincent van der Voort. 2 darts for 2-0. And a fair amount of control of this opening match, but both on the wire. And Justin Pipe finds a crucial double 16.
Not the best scoring leg by any means. But more importantly, Pipe gets his first one on the board.
So I mentioned 2 of those players who are not here this year, Kevin Painter and Paul Nicholson, previous winners of the Players' Championship finals. Painter beating Mark Webster in Doncaster, and remember Paul Nicholson with his win over Mervyn King at the Circus Tavern after beating Phil Taylor in the semi-finals. But it's very, very difficult, these Pro Tour weekends, and the calibre of player who hasn't made it here in the top 32 in the Pro Tour Order of Merit. Tells you everything, doesn't it?
Well, that's the beauty of the event, because it gives you the form over 1 year, where the world rankings is over 2. And everybody starts from scratch on January.
26.
So there's no excuses. There's 35 tournaments, $2.5 million in prize money.
Well, I wonder how important those 2 missed darts from Vincent van der Voort may prove to be, you know. He knows it should have been 2-0. Now Pipe trying to turn this around.
Good follow-up from Vincent, but great maximum from Justin. Van der Voort still only on 2-5-1. Well, he's going for the treble 17. He doesn't need to. Is he going to go for the ball? It looks like he is.
Well, Why not? Why not go for it when your opponent's way, way back? I think it just get the adrenaline flowing, doesn't it? If you could take out a big finish like that, then it fills you with confidence and belief.
Well, he's just nicked a leg, and Vincent could have gone 2-0 ahead. He's taking the 1-6-1 out. He's then building that platform, feeling confident. Still needs to take this leg out though.
17. This is require 154.
It's a good one for the pros, this, isn't it? 2018's 20, but not this time for Van der Voort. Just hope that Justin Pipe fails to take out double four. Already missed one dart at the bull and 2 further darts in this leg.
Yeah, can't afford any further misses. You can't get any closer than that. Oh, what's that one? Somebody must have opened the back door.
He was so far ahead in this leg. This would be a real steal. 5 missed darts from Justin Pipe. Will he pay the price?
Game show.
Yeah, you have your answer.
Well, you mentioned, Stuart, when he went for the 1-6-1, why not go for it? He's miles ahead in the leg. And he's eventually paid the price.
All 3 legs won against throw. In the opening match of this Players' Championship final, £300,000 in prize money. 65,000 to the eventual winner on Sunday night. There's also a 10,000 bonus if we see a 9-darter here at Minehead this weekend. Dave Chisnall with that fantastic 9-darter at the Grand Slam, and then it rolls over £5,000 each television tournament.
Well, Justin Pipe's got to get that last leg out of his mind as quickly as possible. It was all looking good. He nicked a leg, just missed the 1-6-1. He was feeling confident. All of a sudden those negative thoughts are in his head again with those missed doubles, because he should be 2-1 ahead in his mind.
Well, as you say, the pressure's on all the time. If you're sort of sliding down the rankings, that's what's happened to Justin this year. Out of the top 16, he's had, in the main, he's had a really disappointing year as far as the TV events are concerned. So you feel like you're chasing, don't you, all the time?
Well, he's basically a better player than his results have shown. We've seen what he can do over the last few years, certainly on the floor. He was always around the top end of the table on the floor events. He's kind of lost that momentum on the floor, which has then moved onto the TV stage. That's better, moving downstairs. Good visit.
Good darts. Might be 4 consecutive legs won against the darts. Treble 18 would be a brilliant. How about that from Vincent to leave double 12, but will he get a dart at it?
Well, how often does that happen when you go for the 25? Apart from anything else, you have to stand back.
Really important, this, isn't it? Massive dart for Justin.
53. Required 24.
Sometimes there may be value in going for something else rather than the 25, but most people go that way.
Game show on the fourth.
He's paid the price again.
Just in the first. Game on.
It's not that he's not had chances.
Well, 1 out of 8 on the doubles for Justin Pipe, and that really tells you everything you need to know. Got it all to do now. Yeah, 2012, 2013, Pipe reached the semi-finals.
Well, it's certainly not a display by either player of anything you would brag on about. It's just not hit any heights at all. A couple of maximums, a 174. But apart from that, the scoring has evaded both players on a consistent basis through the match, and we're already in leg 5.
Well, those semis he lost to Kim Huybrechts and Phil Taylor. 2012, 2013. It's been a checkered year for him.
16.
Vincent reached the semi-finals of this tournament 12 months ago. Had a great run, beaten by the eventual winner, Gary Anderson.
136.
More pressure on Pipe.
Looking good for Vincent. Going into the first break. 4-1 or 3-2. 4-1 is massive, really. But Justin can't find the treble.
4-1 plus it would be with 2 breaks of throw. Now 3 in total, but 2 against the darts, if you see what I mean. And Justin Pipe at the moment isn't scoring heavily enough to trouble the Dutchman. Important leg this, as you mentioned. Last one before the break.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity going on in his mind at the moment because he knows he's not hitting the scores like he normally can. He doesn't want to go into that break 4-1 with all those negative thoughts in the back of his mind, because he's going to come out again in the second half and give it a real go. If he's only 3-2 down, it will make a big difference.
I agree with you. I mean, he's a much better player than this year's results have tended to suggest. But as we know, a lot of this game, a lot of this sport comes down to confidence and belief, doesn't it?
Well, he hasn't quite hit what he wanted to there, but he's left himself something decent, a 2-darter. And Pipe, by hitting that single 5 with the last dart, may only give himself 1 dart of the double. Double 11, strange one.
91.
Well, he's annoyed with himself.
57.
It was a strange choice to begin with. He's left himself double 6 and double 11. This is for 4-1 and another break of throw. Big dart here for the Dutchman. 4-1 it is, and Vincent van der Voort, who has won 8 out of his 11 last 11 meetings with Justin Pipe, is on course here. He leads 4-1. Day 1, game 1 of the 2015 Players' Championship Finals. Gary Anderson starts the defence of his title. What a match that will be against Phil Taylor in the first round, Friday night here at Butlins in Minehead. But to get us underway, it's the local boy Justin Pipe from 20 miles or so down the road in Taunton against Dutchman Vincent van der Voort. And the Dutchman at the moment has total control. Pipe has just not been able to match him when it's really mattered, and you know, 1 out of 9 on the doubles. Disappointing.
Well, it's an easy observation, but really he has to win this leg, because if Van der Voort does win this one on throw, he'll go 5-1 up, only 1 leg away, and that's really the writing on the wall, because his scoring hasn't been there at all for Justin. He's had a couple of small opportunities on the double to maybe get himself going in the match, but it hasn't quite been there. The scoring hasn't been to the standard that he normally produces. At 5-1 it will look ominous.
But I'm sure it's extremely frustrating for him as well.
16.
Well, yeah, you're disappointed because you know you're playing okay. He's done all the practice all this week. He's been in the practice room for a couple of hours, and then you go up on stage and you just can't produce it, and then you play mind games with yourself, wondering why. You try and change position.
Just talk about that. I mean, as a player who's played at the very highest level, give people an insight into what you're actually thinking on the stage in a big TV game when it isn't going right.
Well, I can tell you now, he'll be feeling angry inside. He's angry with himself, and that sometimes has a negative effect because it makes you try a little bit harder instead of keeping your composure. It's just not happening. Good visit there. It's just not happening consistently in the scoring value, and he knows that, and he's trying to get himself going, and it's making it worse. Chance of 157 for Van der Voort. Well, that'll certainly wake him up. Yeah, nod of approval from Justin. He was just hanging in there to try and maybe break through, and then Vincent van der Voort steps in with a fantastic 157 from nowhere.
I was going to say, from absolutely nowhere. We weren't expecting that. But it means he's a leg away from the second round here in Minehead, and yeah, Minehead and Mine Games, but Justin Pipe now really struggling.
130.
But that's not something that happens overnight. He's done it in a few tournaments where he's probably practiced really well, prepared well. He's normally a good player that prepares really well for tournaments, and then when you get up there and it doesn't happen and you kind of don't understand why. Now that's the darts that we're normally used to from Justin, particularly on the floor events. Back comes Van der Voort, and back comes Van der Voort with a vengeance. 157 already, and back-to-back maximums. The crowd love it.
Wry smile as well on the face of Justin Pipe. It's as if we're talking about what he's thinking. Probably then, what on earth have I got to do?
Well, this is the best leg of the match by far on the scoring. Still leave himself something pretty handy. 87. Shake of the head there because he was looking for another treble there.
A lot of room in the bed as well, wasn't there? Treble 17, the only dart that will matter. So Van der Voort will come back and should get at least a dart at the bull to win it.
Well, he hit the bullpipe there, but couldn't quite nick it into the treble 17. So big chance for Van der Voort. 20 for ball or treble for double five. Double five for Van der Voort! Well, it started scoring towards a part of the match, but Justin Pipe just never got going. 180s, but that 157 was a catalyst for him to get to one leg away and finally got over the line.
Justin Pipe beaten in the first round. Van der Voort wins 6-1. Coming up, it's Terry Jenkins against Alan Norris here in Minehead.